Hey, ladies, are you ready to make it rain? If you are ready to make it rain, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. Also, let us know where you're coming from. If you are part of the replay gang, put replay in the comment section so that the YouTube algorithms can bless us. Today's session is all about making it rain, ladies. So, in celebration of that, I have a very special guest for us. Also, this guest is being brought on because we hit our 1,000 subscribers. And we're actually at 1,068, believe it or not, ladies. We are growing like a weed over here.
Oh,
Yes, and I said to everybody that when we got to 1,000 subscribers, I would have a very special guest, and here she is. Her name is Precious Williams. So let's get rid of that, ladies. If you are ready to make it rain, definitely let us know. But you are in for a treat. So some of you may think that making it rain just has to do with entrepreneurship. However, my guest actually works not only with entrepreneurs, but also you ladies that have jobs as well. Because we've had a lot of conversations on here about the layoffs, about how companies are moving to understanding revenue per employee. We had a conversation about that last night, about ways you can make yourself more valuable to your current employers or to future employers. And making it rain is going to be one of the ways to do that. So, first of all, just as Shar is in the house saying greetings to everyone, and let's welcome Precious Williams. We also have Dark and Lovely in the house
oh,
as well,
dark and
saying,
lovely. Okay.
yes, saying welcome to Precious. So, Precious, welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
Everybody, don't forget to hit the like button for me as you all are coming in. Please hit the like button again so that the YouTube algorithms can do its
So they
thing.
can get some act right.
Yes, and also share the live stream as well, whether it's your friend who has a job or your friend who's starting a business or your friend already has a business and she wants to go up, up, up. This guest is the guest for you. So without further ado, Precious, welcome again.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, Queen.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how dynamic you are, all the things that you've done. I, you know, I was teasing a little bit. I was like, let people know that you've been on Shark Tank, you've done a lot of pitches, you've won a lot of money, you have a lot of books. You're just a dynamic individual that we can all learn from. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm just first of all, I never usually do this, but I'm really happy to be here with you, Queen. And
Yay.
so people can know things about me. I'm Precious, regular, degular, schmegular girl with an extraordinary talent. Before we talk about all those great things that I have done, what's more important is who I am. I'm a full figure diva. I'm a plus size fashionista. I grew up being told that I could never be anything. So imagine that 5-year old who knew she was going to be on television, who knew she was going to have a billboards in Times Square, actually lived long enough to see it. And it happened in my 40s. And I remember thinking, it wasn't happening in my 20s, wasn't happening in my 30s. Yes, I did big things in my 30s, but I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel like people saw me. And I was worried that people would only love me for my achievements. And so when things weren't good, what was I going to talk about? So when my back was against the wall, being an attorney, disgruntled, angry, I don't want to do this. It took courage for me to realize that this great relationship with a very famous Hollywood actor, after leaving my fiance, who I'd known since I was 15 years old, and starting a lingerie company with no money, no resources, but the ability to pitch and not even knowing it. When my back was against the wall with my bladder quite full, I pitched to the producers of MSNBC, never thinking that that was going to be the thing that changed. And that when I pitched on Your Business with JJ Ramberg, MSNBC, Rockefeller Center, was the game changer. And I
Good for
walked over
you.
$500,000 in 54 seconds. then turn around and win 13 out of 14 national pitch competitions. And my last competition was Black Enterprise on May 16, 2013. I became the national pitch champion, beating out hundreds of thousands of entries to be in the top 10, to go to the top five, and then go all the way to number one. I had no idea I'd start Perfect Pitches by Precious because I saw that people love the way I pitched, and this comes naturally to me. But what they were getting in Google or what they were getting from all these templates was sounding like everybody else. And so I wanted to show people, well, what if I can show them that they pitch every day? They pitch in interviews. They pitch themselves for visibility on social media. It's something you do every day. That no good man, no good woman in your life that you always talking about. Well, what if you had a strategy, cunning, and precision? Who could you tap into? What audience could you get to? What company would seek you out? And so I became the killer pitch master because I'm great gifted in all six forms. And my clients, from the biggest to Microsoft, LinkedIn, Google, Federal Reserve Bank, Sirius XM, you name it, Harvard, Columbia, Spelman, Morehouse, George Washington University, from community colleges. Like, how does a Black woman, Black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift, no six-pack abs, does not fit Hollywood, and yet have been on Shark Tank season 8 in 2016, just hosted and was a pitch trainer for a national television show on Fox Business. I still don't look like everybody else. And that is a gift. I have no desire to show up like anybody else. I'm bold, I'm colorful. And when I finally accepted who I am and that my skill set is not limited by my looks, it's not limited by weight. There's so many women out there like me who forgot who they were. There's so many men. And so what I literally teach is how to slay all competition with a killer pitch. And pitches that what pay and slay. Doesn't matter if you're in corporate America. Doesn't matter if you're in a nonprofit. Doesn't matter if you're in a foundation. You can totally be the only choice that matters. So that is me in a nutshell. Yes, I thought I was only going to be teaching women how to win pitch competitions. And then corporate America came calling. And then I've written, four number one best-selling books on pitching, still Black on both sides. 2 billboards in Times Square, and was just on NASDAQ in Times Square yesterday.
Yesterday, I know, I saw you.
That's me, making it rain like snow. And I'm not in
Oh.
the strip club.
Well, I love it. Look, first of all, if the lady in here is in the strip club, make
Ain't
your
nothing
money
wrong.
any way
Listen, make
you
it rain.
can. Look, it's legal, and look, no problem with that at all.
Oh, no, just
Um,
many ways to skin a cat.
there's many ways. There's many ways. The other thing that I like about you is that you're full figured and you wear it proudly. You are, you have your natural hair. Uh, and there's nothing wrong with like wigs and weaves or any
Oh,
like
no, not at
I've
all.
worn everything under the sun, right?
Girl, I was wearing them
But
earlier this year, right?
yes, yes, some of the ladies though want to wear their locks. Some of the ladies want to wear braids or things like that. And one of the great things about corporate America now, living in this time, is it's not just a Crown Act. It's just people, especially companies, are being more accepting of our hair, of our full figured bottoms. We don't have to have BBLs and all of that stuff. So, um, Dark and Lovely is saying, yes, slay.
Come on now, come on.
And Mary is saying, oh, Precious is a dynamic speaker. Yes, she is. Everybody, I hope you hit the like button. Hope you hit the like button as well for Precious and myself. So let's talk a little bit about your rainmaking 101, though.
Oh, you talking about
So
my book coming out? Is
your
that what
new
you want
book
to
coming,
talk about?
the
Okay.
new book
The
coming
new
out.
book.
Yes, because first of all, um, people think making it rain is like some black thing, with us sitting on a Cadillac Escalade and all of that. And I was telling ladies that actually rainmaking was a sales term and is a sales
Yes, it
term.
is.
There was a gentleman named, I think, Jeff Fox, who wrote a book in the early 2000s with regards to rainmaking. But what made you even want to write this book, and the fact that you wrote it for people who have jobs versus entrepreneurship? Talk to us a little bit about that journey and what you want people to learn about rainmaking.
Queen, when I tell you as an entrepreneur or if you're in corporate America or a worker, is staying curious.
Mhm.
So I've written great books on pitching, but our Heavenly Father has a way of making you go back to where you've been because now you're coming with experience. So when I was an attorney in the great state of New York, I was a Sullivan and Cromwell, clerk for federal judge in the Southern District. Those things all look good on the resume. They're not on my resume today. But I went in with the worker bee mentality, meaning that I just thought if I did the work, I was told ingrained, do the work, do the work, do the work. But it was unfulfilling because I would look around and the rainmakers were the one who brought in the money. The rainmakers were the one who cultivated relationships. The rainmakers are the one who were able to create opportunities by building the type of relationships that were in some ways reciprocal and in some ways they could always be counted on for things. So when I became an entrepreneur, I thought about all the things that I did not learn when I was a lawyer or in law school that would help attorneys, that would help sales professionals, that would help people who have jobs really get to the top in a way they've never thought of before. So if you really want to be the queen bee or the king bee, then we have to think differently. Yes, you can do the work, but let me tell you, they lay off people all day, every day. If the biggest tech companies are laying them off, it's not because people can't do the work. It's because they're not in the eyes of management. They're not considered valuable because they can always bring in someone to do it for cheaper. Well, let's say you are thinking of new opportunities. You're bringing new things to the table they've never thought of. You're building your allyships, and I don't mean in terms of race. I mean in terms of Rainmaker 101 goes step by step, deeper and deeper into having the right relationships around you. So some people think it's about going to all kinds of events. Nope. You gotta be strategic about the events you go to. But even in corporate America, even in your job, you may know people, but what do they know about you? Do they only know you by your title? Is it time to start looking at who got the juice, who got the sauce? And not just the name people, but the people who are in the background running interference. How do you get them to know you? What are you putting out about you? Are you catching people? But always being strategic about how you're moving. In your real life, you have people that you're connected to that still only know you on a surface level. Let's go deeper. Because as you're going deeper, you're teaching them to be attuned to opportunities, whether that's at another company, corporation, foundation, or a nonprofit. Maybe there's a lucrative opportunity that they never would have thought about you for, but because now you're going deeper. Now you're checking in beyond just birthdays and things that are happening in people's lives. Maybe someone fell off. Maybe someone hit rock bottom. When they rise again, and we know they will, they're going to remember the people who didn't let go, because we've all been at rock bottom at some points in our lives. So this book was really meant to show us how to go from worker bees to king bees and queen bees, and making sure that our network reflects who should know us, who really knows us, and how to get people attracted to knowing more about us. The surface thing with texting and emails, that's cute. But when you want people to advocate for you, you need a process, and to keep those coffers full, to keep your Rolodex full, even if it's on LinkedIn. What do you need people to know about you, and who knows you and who needs to know you? Does your network know how to refer you or to talk about you to other people? What are you going to arm them with? So Rainmaking 101 from day one was written for those who are just starting. And also, let's say you have a few years under your belt. When you change the mentality from worker bee to king bee and queen bee, you'll see the world in a totally different way. You go from just thinking about things to being laser focused with vision. Where you are today is not where you'll always be. Who needs to know you? Who knows you? And how do you take them deeper with you? Are you going to the right events? If you're in this industry, maybe you should be going to other industry events in other industries. Listening to what they're talking about, bringing it back to where you are. You look like the hero, but it's really because you're curious. And that's what really led me on this journey. And I went back to thinking about, this is what I missed. I don't want others to feel this way. I want them to have the blueprint or the pink print or the precious print for how to do this. Does that make sense?
Oh, it absolutely makes sense. So, this idea of being the queen bee is if
Come on now. Come
from
on
worker
now.
bee to queen bee
Come
is,
on now.
I mean, it's a great thing, but some people may actually feel like, oh my goodness, that's daunting. Shy,
It's
an
what you're doing right now,
introvert.
daunting.
Well, it's not for me. But other
Yes.
yes, yes, but other people may feel like, "Oh, I don't know if people will like me, I'm not conventional, with regards to being in corporate America." Sometimes people just need to know that there is opportunity for everybody and every voice, no matter how shy you are, or no matter what industry you're in, or no matter what you do. Even if you are an administrative assistant, we had on this channel, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, I did a story of an executive admin that makes 250,000 a year.
Ooh,
So you can always work your way up no matter what you do and no matter who you are. I mean, that's why we're like the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman,
come on now.
socioeconomically. Social and economically, we need to have
Yes.
both, So, um, I love the fact that really kind of talk about going from worker bee, like being that person that has their head down. Because when I was in my 20s, that was what my parents taught me. They're like,
Come on,
get
that's
your,
what we were
get
told.
your,
Yes.
yeah, and, we talk about it all the time in this channel. Parents would say, get your head off them boys and in them books, right? Go to school and get a good education,
Yes.
make good grades. They didn't tell me to join a sorority. They didn't tell me to go network in a right way. They knew I needed an internship, but they really didn't tell me how to navigate to get the right internship. It was a boss actually that pulled me to the side in my very first job and was like, "You're not playing the game right." And I was like,
Ooh,
"What are you talking about?"
ooh.
And she asked me if I was going to go to the Christmas party at the corporate office, and I
Yep.
said no.
What you
And
looking like?
I'm little 22, 23 years old. I'm like, no, I'm like, why would I
Come
go
on
to the
here.
Christmas party? And she pulled me to the side and she said, bad move. Now,
That was a blessing.
that was a blessing. She didn't expound on that. She was a little bit of a crazy boss, but we didn't have social media at the time. This was
Nope.
in the late 90s, right? We didn't have social media. So if you didn't have a family or a network of people that could pull you to the side and say, no, you don't know how to play the game. Let me show let me show you why your network oftentimes is more important than even what you know in your technical
Come on
skills.
now.
But if we as Black women, if we have our technical skills, our soft skills, and our networks, we're unstoppable. That's what we talk about on this channel.
We're really, girl. I'm over here sharing this because I know we going deep. We're gonna show what
Yes.
time it is in these streets. I mean, I'm a queen pea if you really want me to be honest. But what I really love. Come on now, she said, make it rain like
Make it
snow.
rain. We
Oh,
got the queen bee, not the
girl.
queen bay. Yes, dark and lovely.
So when I say
Absolutely.
beyond a shadow of all doubt, this is real. You can see, I'm already acting out. I'm sharing because I'm not playing. I ain't playing with people. The reason why you do this, and the reason why we're having, she said, make it rain like snow. So the
Yes.
reason why this is so important, because a lot of us, I'm first generation in everything, right?
Hmm.
And I felt I didn't have imposter syndrome, but I just felt like I didn't know who. Like I'm not. I didn't. I wasn't. Oh, I wasn't in entertainment. I wasn't in sports. Is it possible to do it in business if
Hmm.
you didn't come from those? And I kept believing I could. But who was the people I looked up to know it was possible?
Hmm.
If I don't get into entertainment, what do I do? And so, yes, I can read all the biographies of people who look nothing like me, but that didn't make me feel like it was possible. And when I dared to be different and not just say it, when the great Ty Goodwin, she's one of the greatest business coaches I have ever had. She
Oh, I
said,
love Ty.
yes, she said, when you step into your purpose, another woman can step into hers. So
Hmm.
when I finally embraced it, I know I'm in my 40s. It's hard to expect 20-year-olds to not be scared, even if they're putting on the greatest fronts, because they don't know.
Mhm.
And so I want when they see us to know, baby, we might have had the same challenges, but the challenges you're going to face are people want to do everything online and by text. But the people like us, we want to see you. Can
Mhm.
you articulate your value? Can you
Mhm.
stand up with confidence? Because hiding behind technology is cute. Chat GPT, that's all cute. But you still got to meet people in the real world. And there are a lot of baby boomers still out there. There are women of a certain age out there, and they're not going to allow you to just get away with, oh, well, everything I do is online, so I never have to meet the people. Good luck. And we're Black. So be
Yeah.
very clear that what the dominant society can do, you may not be able to do.
Mhm.
What do you have to do? Be the creative outsider.
Yeah. Can I
Okay.
one up you with that? There's a young lady in my office who's probably 24 years old, 20,
Right.
4ish. And I work for a real estate company now, and she is
Mhm.
a realtor. And she was saying that when she started her real estate journey, they told her to pick up her phone and contact everyone she knew in order to tell them that she was in real estate. And she said, well, my, generation doesn't really talk like that. And this is the instructive thing she said. She said, but my generation talks through Instagram. So
Mhm.
what she did was she picked up her phone and she started doing Instagram reels where she was educating people about buying your first home. If she was not able to articulate herself clearly, even through technology, we still have to be able to articulate ourselves clearly.
And I love what she did.
Otherwise, yes. So she took being a young person, she took what worked for her, the technology piece of it, but she still has to have those soft skills of verbal communication, written communication. A future employer is going to want to see you write with periods and uppercase letters at the very, at the beginning of your sentence and all of those things, because that makes a difference as well. And that is what draws people to
Can
you.
can we
You
give
know,
this young queen
Mhm.
that's a clap for the heavyweight champ?
Yes.
Because she took what her generation does and she melded it with what we do.
Hmm.
So yes, she's on there, and as a Black woman being on social media, how we position ourselves, how we talk is going to be scrutinized to another level.
Hmm.
And so she knows if you're selling, if she's selling homes, selling commercial real estate, they're going to be looking differently at her. So she
Hmm.
knows she's got to come with it.
Yeah. Well, she happens to be white, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, but clap for the heavyweight champ again.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, she's understanding, and I want our young people. Listen, there's nothing they do that we can't, but bring a little funk and energy to it so that
Hmm.
you stand out. It's not enough to stand. Like, remember when they used to tell us work harder than everybody else, be better than everybody. I'm not saying that that's not
Yes.
true. What I am saying is eating more pie that you don't want is going to make you resentful.
Hmm.
So if you're going to work harder, make it that you're working harder and make it a name for yourself. And it's not just going to be in the work that you do currently. It's going to be in how you're able to see opportunities that no one else can see. I mean, when they told me pitching, no one's going to listen to a fat Black woman with no Ivy League degree.
Hmm.
Queen, are they listening now?
They certainly are. They better be.
Did you notice I have designs in my hair, taking it back to b-boy style?
I love it.
You notice that I like to be bright and colorful.
And that is definitely you, and because of that, people know, like, the energy you exude when you walk in the room.
Yes, I
Mhm.
didn't I didn't have that in my 20s and 30s. I was kind of looking like, excuse me, miss. Some people will tell you that wasn't me. I'm like, that's how I felt. Today I walk in like, I be walking in like I know Beyonce here, let her meet Precious. And if you're working in corporate America in any form, nonprofits, whatever, you have a job. You are the celebrity of your life. You're the main
Oof.
character. And I want to say that for all of us. You're the main character. Why are you spending all your time looking at what celebrities and everybody else do? Make them watch you.
That's
Make them
right.
watch you. I'm not gonna sit all day. Listen, I ain't gonna say I don't be looking at some things, but I know people be watching me too. So
Mhm.
it's great to see what they're doing, where you think their money is coming from. But at the
And
end of
take a
the day,
quick
you
water,
are not
yeah.
a side, you're not a side piece in your own story.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are watching you or they watching me, how is she doing it? I'm not gonna tell you it's easy because you're breaking through the molds of your own mind, breaking through the stories that we've all been told that we will never be as good or you're judged at this. Well, if I'm gonna be judged on all of that, let me be me now. Let me be me. And remember when I did it with one tooth in my mouth? I tell people, whatever you talking about, if you can speak to big companies with one front tooth, show up and
Yeah.
show up and show out. They're like,
Yes.
we ain't paying you for no tooth. I'm thinking, what I told all my life, we had to look us out and say,
You can break the mold. You can definitely break the mold, especially in corporate America. So, what I want to do
uh-huh.
is I want to kind of break down your book description and
Come on,
have
Queen,
us
break it down.
talk. Yes, because you had a lot of interesting things in this paragraph. So, ladies, I'm going to show you I have 5 parts to Precious's book description, and we're going to talk about that. And then I want us to really get into some tactics as well, like
Come on now, Queen.
practical things that people can do with regards to this. Okay, so the first thing you say here is that Precious L. Williams walks you step by step through taking your career in law from a dream to reality, but not the reality you think. So, first of all, if someone isn't in law, if they're in tech or real estate like I am or something else, is this book, first of all, going to work for them?
Actually, it will. It was
Okay.
written for, it was when I started writing it, it was for attorneys. And then I realized I'm in front of sales professionals,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so there are parts of the book that are set up for those who are in sales or those who are so disgruntled and frustrated, but
Mm-hmm.
they can't, they're stuck, and the stuff that they're seeing out there is not speaking to where they are. And one of the things you got to know about when you write a book or you put something out there, you have to have your target market and know that others will watch when they see the buzz going in that.
Mm-hmm.
So just like with my other books, there are things in there that would work for other people. But when I started off with attorneys, because I said that's where I started.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at me. Look at the
Mm-hmm.
trajectory. Am I still in law? No. However, my law school brought me back to speak, Rutgers Law School. And then it's just the snowball effect. We were at NASDAQ yesterday, and an Ivy League institution peep game on me and said, when can we bring you in to speak to our business school about rainmaking 101?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, y'all, here's another tip, trick, and technique. So you all may have business cards. I don't really do business cards, but there were things that, I started to understand. So I'm an international professional speaker. But who would think an attorney would be an international professional speaker, best-selling author, corporate sales trainer? And so had these little things made up. So it gives you a little
Ooh.
background on me, right? It's not a business card size. What? Because we don't do nothing that average, random, and ordinary people do. So if it's a flex, I'm big time at all times. On the back are my books. You see this one right here? Wait, I'm sorry.
And you got the
Wait,
QR
no,
code there.
I am over
Yes.
here. Do you see
Uh-huh.
it?
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason. So you can improve upon what's out there. But the thing is, you're going to be meeting different people from different walks of life. This book is for those who have jobs. Jobs. Or if you're trying to get a job, what do you need to be doing now? Remember when they said it's not what you know, it's who you know we were talking about?
It's who knows you
And then
is
it's
what I
like,
always
who's
say.
putting people on game?
Mhm.
The old way is, oh, just show up at all these events and be random. No, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
No, no, no. We're not gonna show up at just events to be showing up at. Who needs to know you?
How do you decide what events to go to? How do you decide who needs to know you? Give us something a little practical
So
there.
some of that was some of that is what I dealt with in the book. So
Okay.
one of the things that I really loved. So a lot of high-end events, a lot of them will include the type of people you need to be around.
Mm.
I'm not saying go to all of them.
Mhm.
So here's some of the things. Let's say there's a cause that you are really, this is going to answer multiple questions. Let's say there's a cause you're really into. Don't go to the ones that everybody else goes to. Pick 1 to 3 events a year that have a higher dollar amount,
Mhm.
because the people who have the money, the power, and the influence are going to be there. Not the $25 events that everybody can go to, because the low cost of entry, low barrier of entry, which means you'll be around people who cannot help you. They're all looking for the same thing. If you go
Mhm.
to these higher dollar events, let's say it's a cause you support, like, I'm on the board of Savvy Ladies, but before I was on the board of Savvy Ladies, I was a recipient. So I love working with organizations that help women in transition,
Mhm.
homeless women, homeless youth. So with those, I started strategizing. What organizations are dedicated to that have high end events? Maybe it's the gala, maybe it's a silent auction. You need to be in those spaces. And even if you cannot afford to be giving money to the silent auction, start paying attention. You start seeing who's on the guest list, who
Mhm.
are the honorary chair people, media sponsors. Pay attention, because if that's the room you're supposed to be in, pay for the ticket. Then you start strategizing. Who do you need to meet? Hang around the silent auction table, because those wealthy individuals, those powerful, influential people, they're hanging around there. What are you going to start the conversation off with? See, it goes so much deeper. Second
Yes.
thing, second thing, when you look at your network, let's say you're on LinkedIn, and you're looking on LinkedIn, and there's so many people that you could be connected to. So when it comes to certain events, we talked about the cause events, or the
Mhm.
charity philanthropic events. Well, whatever industry you're in, what I would encourage you all is once or twice a year, go to other big industry events that are outside of your industry.
Mhm.
This year I was at South by Southwest. I have never been to South by Southwest.
Did you like it?
Girl, it was amazing. But remember, I
Mhm.
had speaking engagements in 4 days while I was there in
Mhm.
Austin. How did that happen? Ingrid Vandervelt, She Economy World. I've known her when she had Empowering a Billion Women 2020. I had never met her in real life, but I'd been a part of her groups at a New York chapter. We met January 21st, 2023 in real time for the first time. She had my 44th birthday party was at her house.
Mhm.
She just met me in real life, but we've been, online friends, on the phone, Zoom. But who brings people to the birthday party for a woman they've never met in real life? The right people were in the room. The next thing I know,
Mhm.
hey, we speaking at South by Southwest. Hey, Precious, want to book you for a 4-hour training session with these most promising startups. Hey, Precious, we just got booked to speak to the 90 Austrians who came to South by Southwest. They requested us. Next thing I know, two women's international women's day events at a country club, and at a country club, and at Cherry Beckhart, which is a financial services firm. It went from one thing to 6 things in 4 days.
Mhm.
Okay. Who was in the room? Private mansion parties, private investor dinners. Who did I have to know to even know? I didn't know all that was possible.
Mhm.
She saw the value in me from hearing me speak on stage, had the dinner at her house, and now look at where I'm roped into. South by Southwest. I went there, and there's such a long line. And I'm like, Precious don't want to stand in no line. She said, "You're a speaker. We don't stand in line." So we went inside, and I said, "Oh my goodness. People are paying all this money just to be in the regular general section. We
Right.
were speakers. There were only 7 people in line before us.
Mhm.
We were trying to figure out who was the chocolate drop. Don't worry about it. I belong in every space I'm in, but I don't belong everywhere, which is
Mhm.
one of the things about being a rainmaker. Don't go everywhere. You have to be strategic about the high end.
Be
Yes, you
yeah.
may go for causes. Let's say you check out different industries, because you're going to pull out things from those industry events you can bring
Mhm.
back to your company. And what you are the rainmaker, because they didn't go. They don't know how to you can take something from somebody else's industry and bring it into yours. And
Mhm.
because they were not there, you are the king bee and the queen bee. Another thing that I think is very
Can
important.
I
I'm sorry, Queen. I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
going in.
that's
Sorry.
okay. So I'll give somebody a practical way that I saw somebody else do this, and it's a brilliant move. What this gentleman used to do is he used to network with people various places, right?
Yes.
And he would, when he met somebody, he would give them his phone and have them connect with him on LinkedIn.
Oh, I
That was
love
his
you.
thing,
Got to do that. You got
right?
to do that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. He would also, if he didn't see their email address, he would ask them for their email address. And then, like, I practically will open up my notes Because with LinkedIn, it's like sometimes you forget who you added in. So he would
Yes.
also go into his notes and say, "Okay, I met such and such a person on this day." And then, ladies, listen up because this is some real game here. He had a special VIP email list. And
Come on. Come
anytime,
on. Tell it.
yes, and he was like 24 years old. He went to MIT, super
Oh,
smart guy,
yo,
right?
yo.
Anytime, and he had this company that was doing some sort of quantum engineering, some super smart stuff, right? Okay, so anytime he met somebody that was like a VIP person, either they were wealthy or they were attached to wealthy people, or somebody like me, because like I'm an influencer, he
Yes,
put us
queen.
on this email list, right? And anytime he did something like they would win grants, like his company would win grants, he would send it out to his email list.
Queen, you know I do
Or
that. Yes.
yes,
It's a
or
VIP list. Yes.
or they hired somebody significant, he would send it out, right? And all of a sudden, one day, I get this email saying, "We're raising our second rounds of capital for like $5 million, something like that." By the time I got to him to ask him how much money he needed, he was like, "Oh, we raised all of the money already." So, what I'm trying to tell everybody is like, that's a really smart way of you to do something where people can kind of follow your journey because they're seeing it in LinkedIn, but you also have that VIP email list that you send out stuff to. And when people feel like they know you because of they'll never respond to you, but they're
Come on.
watching,
Nope.
right? They're watching because they're watching your journey. And when you need something like, "Hey, I'm looking for my next job," or "I'm looking for, you know, I don't know, tickets to whatever,
Yeah.
and I can't seem to get in some big business conference or something like that," you'll be surprised who will say, "Oh, I can help you with that."
You are so right. I'm so glad you brought that up because I do have a VIP list. So, what I
Mhm,
do every month or every other month is I stack all of the things that I have done, put
mhm,
it in an email because they know it's coming.
mhm,
And what it does is shows, okay, so I'm progressing. We had a
mhm,
pandemic, economic downturn, social unrest, monkeypox, inflation, recession, all within 3 years,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
But when they see my email, it's always a smile because it's like Precious keeps it thuggy.
mhm,
So at the end of my emails is where I'll make a big ask. And because of the VIPs, they're getting this information before anybody else, or they don't
mhm.
have the aggregate of it all together. So
Right.
when I do make an ask, or let's say I don't, now they start following up. Precious, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I got this new book coming out. Send it to me. I'm gonna send it to my network. Oh, I'll have my company buy it in bulk. And that is because they're seeing you progress and
Mhm.
they have a vested interest in making sure you succeed
Yeah.
because it reflects on them and they're like, man, she's really doing it in a world that talks about all bad news.
Mhm.
And so you are that bright light, and I'm so thankful for my VIPs. I'm thankful for my clients and my customers, and I can tell you that we have a real bond
Mhm.
because no matter what I will post, no matter what. I could say to my VIPs, I have all this anxiety. I'm nervous about this or whatever. You would think people like that wouldn't respond. Or I get text message, a phone call. P, you notice the nature of the game.
Mhm.
You thought you were gonna go big. It's gonna be bigger than that. And that's what you're feeling. Because you know
Mhm.
it's about to get bigger and bigger. So we're already in your network. We're gonna keep it thuggy and we're gonna keep it small.
Mhm.
Whatever you ask. And so people ask me, how did I do it? The relationships.
Mhm.
And my relationship is made up of people who look like me, who don't. One of my spouse sisters said to me today, yes, it's great to have allies, but you need co-conspirators too.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
allyship is great, but the ones who be checking people, like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, what did you
Yeah.
just say to her? Did she have a JD? Wasn't I mean, didn't she do better than like those are co-conspirators? They'll check people. Like I thought I might have heard you talking about my girl. I'm about to be like Moneybag Yo and Glorilla. It is what it is. I'm on what you on. Talk about her the right way because I don't have to chin check you in this meeting. And when she said co-conspirators and what a woman had done for a woman who looked nothing like her, she said, yeah, it was great to have allies. She said, but a co-conspirator will check people.
Mhm.
Make sure you get your money. Make
Yeah.
sure you get the promotion. I know people like to use their sponsorships and stuff like that. I'm like, some things are overdone.
Mhm.
Co-conspirator, you just like, oh, we in this together.
Mhm. Yeah.
And these are ways of
So
building it.
so then let's go to the next part of your book description. Showing up early and leaving late just to impress your partners and superiors isn't the true tea you want.
Nope.
This is part of being a worker bee. Why is this not helpful, Precious?
You
We
want
were
you
told to do this.
first of all, you know why it's not helpful?
Hmm.
So I heard people talking about quiet quitting and they're talking about quiet hiring. I'm like,
Mhm.
baby, let's talk about what it used to be called. You're doing all the work. They're not going to find anybody to help you.
Mhm.
If they can get more out of you for the same salary, they will. That doesn't allow
Now
you time to build relationships. And another
yeah.
thing, we were taught that. I'm not sure who really got to the top really like that without exercising the difference maker in them. So if it's just
Mm.
work just to be working and working and working, good luck on getting the pie you wanted. You getting the pie that they're serving. But what
Mhm.
you're also doing is putting yourself at the detriment. If you can do all of this work without help, they will continue to see you as a worker bee. They can get
Yeah.
everything out of you, but they can promote other people who do less because you're swamped with things. Now you're afraid to ask for help. And they will keep using you and using you. And what happens to a lot of Black women is you're exhausted. You're beholden to the paycheck. You think you can't move. And I had a conversation with my sister, my spouse, sister, and I said, "What would you tell your daughter if she was in this situation?" I said, "What would you tell her? Because it's great what we tell other people. I need you to exercise that."
Mhm.
I said, I need you. I'm not going to say this is easy, but working somewhere where it's toxic and everything is on you and you're being micromanaged, it's cute. It's cute. But we're in our 40s now. You can't
Mhm.
sustain this. You're going to go insane, and that person will keep getting promoted, and you're out the door
On your back.
on your back.
Mhm.
So, what I'm telling you is, we got to find a different way of doing it. Of course, you're going to do your job, but remember, you're the main character. So, as the main character, what are you doing to truly stand out? Just doing work just to do work, they will still fire you regardless,
Yes.
and hire the younger model. However, if you're the person bringing in these great ideas, you're the person that has, lucrative VIP list, baby, you can lead her today and be having your VIPs be like, oh, baby, take 2 weeks because I got something else here for you.
Mhm. Yeah. One of the things we talk about on this channel is do projects where you are in front of your boss's boss.
Come on, queen.
Yes. And if you work like the last job that I had, like W-2,
Hmm.
I would produce like one-page executive summary reports that went to the C-suite. So like everybody knew who I was. And because of that, they were about to have layoffs. And I was telling the ladies, my name was nowhere on the list. My name was all the way to the bottom of the no, we have to have Cherie here. But that's what you want. You need to kind of insert yourself into coming back to Rainmaking 101 into something that's mission critical. And it's
Oh, I
not
like the way you
just
said that. Mission
mission
critical.
critical, yes. And we talked about it a little bit last night with regards to either you're doing lead generation, you're making sales, or you are helping with production in such a way that the company is able to make, more money or, some sort of way be more successful, or you do the legal thing and you're in HR or something and you keep the company out of trouble with the IRS or, the Department of Justice or whatever, right? But, it's not just like you're saying, there was a time when I even thought I have to come in early. I have to stay
Yes.
late. I have
Right.
to work weekends. And now I'm starting to shift to no, if there's a way for me to do something between nine and now I'm in sales, so I'm going to work a
Yes,
little
yes,
bit
queen.
longer. Not 9 and 7, right? 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's going to have the greatest impact and going to help me get to the numbers I need to get to. That's what I'm focused on. And I that gives me time to work out, which I wasn't doing in my 20s, right? Not like I was
Like,
supposed
I don't
to,
even know. We
right?
knew, like, I don't even know what that is. I just,
I
it just
work out
magically
now.
goes off the. Now it's like, baby.
Yeah, but you neglect so much
You do.
all you think about is I got to go into work because I've got this task list to do instead of being strategic. So I love this part of what you said. Let's go to the next part of what you said. Worker bees buzz, but not you. You are a rainmaker after all, one of the real power players who can learn how to play chess by building the firm's clientele. What did you mean by that? What do we do? How do we do that?
Okay, so and of course I go deeper in the book, but the truth of the matter is, there are people who are talking a whole lot of noise, and it's not reflecting in their pocketbook. It's not reflecting in their income. As a rainmaker, remember you're bringing in clientele. You're building your Rolodex, and over time, what you're doing is leading to more lucrative opportunities. Before I became before I became known as the pitch queen, I went from nothing, killer pitch master, pitch queen. I realized that people didn't know what to call me or what to depend on me for. That would be the niche that would make me rich through pitching. And so when you're bringing in clientele for your company or your firm, or you're bringing in customers, or you're thinking of innovative ideas that bring more money into the firm, more money through your sales, more money through the relationships that you're building through your VIPs, and now they're starting to come, and now they're starting to refer. That's what I mean by that. I'm not talking a good game. I'm bringing it to the table. Now what? Now I'm starting to, you know what? This comp plan isn't working for me. I'm bringing in way too much. So I want to renegotiate.
So the rainmaking then for some of you ladies, let's say you are an HR person, for
Right.
example, for a big company. The rainmaking, your network could be the best lawyers in town that could get your company out of a real mess. Because at some point, and if a company is around long enough, they're gonna
Girl,
need
you
some
be around a
outside
year. It's gonna
counsel.
be
So somebody's gonna cause some mess in the company that needs to be cleaned up by the sharkiest attorney that's out there,
and
right?
sometimes it's one call. That's all. You
Yes.
know exactly who to
You
call.
know who to call. And this goes into personal branding as well. As
Come
you
on, Queen.
described it, it's like, what are you known for? Like one of the things that I'm moving into, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, but God put it in my head and it's been there all along is how do I become the connect when somebody has a financial issue and they need money to do a real estate deal or a business deal? They could come to Cherie and Cherie is the connect to get them the money that they're looking for, right? I had a couple of calls over the past couple of weeks and I'm like, they're so big that I'm like, I couldn't help the person, but I thought, you know what? But I know a couple of people who probably could help them. And one of them, you know, I attached a client who needed $500,000 to some Chinese investors. Well, through another person with some
Queen.
Chinese investors,
Bad.
right?
Too bad.
Like, I'm like, okay, because when you start being able to solve those types of problems for a company, you could write your own check, you know?
You be like this. You know what? I think I want to pull. I think I'm ready to go. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. What you talk? They might have thought. They might have been spelling something there. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's
Mhm.
going on?
What's going Yeah, exactly. And that's what you wanna be. You want
You should
people
have $1 million.
fighting.
It was $5. Like I got
Yes.
500. I'm like, no, 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 Queen. People looking at you like, so what can we do to make this situation
They
better
should.
for you?
Yes.
And you're coming from a place of power.
Mhm.
And as rainmakers, as you begin to do this more and more, you will not allow the fear of, well, they can get rid of me. Baby, you walk away from the table.
Mhm.
Because you're expecting them to automatically see value. Sometimes they don't see it until you're gone. And
Exactly.
now imagine having to hire new people. So you make it hiring them for cheaper. Well, maybe they're not as invested because they're younger and they're like, dude, I can
Mm.
take it or leave it. I can go from here to here to here to here to here.
They will.
Remember, younger people
Yeah.
brought a different type of power
Mhm.
that we didn't have.
Mhm.
And so they're like this. Hmm. Salary sounded good, but my homie over there says she making more. Oh, you want me here
and
every day?
getting more time off,
Oh,
getting an
you want me
expense
here
report.
every day with people I don't like, in meetings I don't want to be a part of? Oh, okay. And so one of the greatest things that I've learned in business as I've gotten older is it's not just the power to say no, it's the power of thank you very much. It's been real. Oh, you're just getting up and walk away with pleasure. You trying to
So
hold me over. I'm not.
yeah, look, um, you definitely want to come from a place of power, and your network can help with that as well.
I sure can.
So,
You be flexing like, oh,
mhm,
why do you think I post some of the things I post, Queen? Because this is why a lot of this is going into rainmaking.
mhm,
If people really watched me, why do I post what I post? All my posts aren't most of my posts aren't like buy my stuff. It has
mm.
nothing to do with that.
No, it doesn't.
If you
You
see the
post people.
connection,
Mhm,
but if you post the people that you are around and notice it's not like I'm in the background.
mhm,
If I know these people that you can see, who don't I know that you never
mhm,
get to see?
mhm. Yeah. So let's move to the next part of your description, your book description.
Mhm.
Pushing the company as a leading problem solver. So that's talking about you as an individual being a leading problem solver and onboarding a consistent stream of referrals to bring in more revenue. So, um, Olivia Pope, I never watched the show,
I didn't
but
either.
my understanding is she was a fixer, right? And because of that, she was like an extremely important person for the administration, right? There
Yes.
are some of us within our companies, unfortunately, who are the problem solver, but we're not respected as such. I'm
Hmm.
seeing a lot of like TikToks and things like that with very frustrated Black women who are like, I get called, in the evenings. I get called on the weekends. Like, I'm the problem solver in the company, but I'm the lowest paid, and people are promoting other people over me.
Mm.
How do Black women kind of level that out where they are the leading problem solver, but they're also able to be paid what they're worth and get the respect that they deserve in the corporate race?
Queen, when I tell you a lot of what I do and what my clients do is start understanding the metrics. They start understanding like it's not enough for me to just tell VIPs this is what I do, but keeping a tally of the things that I do, right? Because to some people I look superhuman. I'm really not. But the reason why I do that is because objections come. Let's be clear. The objections don't stop. They may get lesser and they have a lot in my case. But when people were trying to put me at a level like I'm brand new, I don't deserve to be paid, and da da da. Da, oh, okay. So everything I should do for free, but you'll take these people who don't have no talent, no skill set, no ability other than being looking very different from me. Oh, I got issues now. I got issues because now I'm about to flex on you. If you notice, a lot of us, when we talk about ourselves diligent, hardworking, those words mean nothing. Everybody says it, and most of us are not like that. So I learned to quantify a lot of the things that I did. Right? Why do you think I say 13-time national pitch champion, 4-time number one best-selling author, top Fortune 500 corporate sales trainer, Google, LinkedIn, Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, into a QuickBooks, Sirius XM? I can go on and on. Harvard, Columbia, whatever. Because if you're gonna play with me, you haven't read enough about me. I know I look like a dynamic personality, and that must be the reason why she's the magic Negro. I'm not the magic Negro. I'm not. And I refuse for anybody to make me out to be the big personality. There's talent, there's skill set, and their abilities. Who do you know who's done what I've done? You might say, "Oh, well,
Nobody. You're the only
they have
person.
more of a following." Do you want to know why they have more of a following?
Hmm.
Some people come from money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Shoot, if I can't
Mhm.
do it, I'd be acting up all day, every day. However, since most of us didn't, everything you do, make sure you're writing it down. Make sure, and it's about that's why you let your VIPs know, but you also make sure that you flex on people and don't say the things that average, random, and ordinary people say. The diligent,
Mhm.
hardworking, and all that kind of stuff. That was cute when we were in the 80s, the 90s, maybe the early 2000s. But now putting some funk on my name, putting some I want you to put respect on my name.
Mhm.
So when you come to me with free stuff or you come to me with, well, we don't have the budget, you don't have to have me. But in the meantime, check out my LinkedIn, check out my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You're going to get to know who I really am.
All right. The final part of your description is this is the book description I've already. First of all, Charlotte is saying she can't wait to get her autographed copy. So,
I know that Dr. Shaw's my client. Okay,
and
sorry.
Dark and Lovely said, don't have just allies, have co conspirators. So, yes, absolutely. And again, just like Shar is asking everybody to like the video, please like the videos.
Come on. Queen
If
said,
y'all
yeah,
are
juicy.
replaying, please put replay in the chat so that, or in the comments, so that YouTube can recognize that you were here. Okay, so the last part of your book description says it's time to learn the skills that will make it nearly impossible to get rid of you, Queen Bee. You're an asset to the firm, and assets don't play checkers.
Please
We
believe.
play chess,
We
not
play chess up in these
checkers.
streets, right? So our experience counts for something.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need someone coming at it from a different angle to show you what you're missing. So, for those in tech, for those in a lot of these industries, we've been socialized or programmed to think this is as high as we can fly and that we should just be grateful for what we have when others are not taught that at all. They're always taught to reach higher or to go about things differently. When I say rock bottom was what I built my foundation on, it's because it is what it that helped. But also understanding that in order to play chess, you got to play with the best. So you have to study some of the best, and some of the best look just like us. And so they're gonna tell you, like, they're gonna tell you, hey, like, there's an executive at Chase Bank. She invited me to a private event, and I want y'all to listen to what she said to me. So I get there, I'm all happy. Yeah, she takes me in the bathroom. I was like this. "Ooh." She says, Precious, what are your goals for tonight? And I've never had anybody ask me that at an event. It's private, had a very big time celebrity there. And I was like, oh, just making connections. I'm like, why is she asking me this? She walks up on me, sister, and she says, if it were me, I would sit back and observe. I wouldn't be first to say anything. Just sit back and observe. This may be your first time meeting him, but it won't be your last. So just sit back and observe and watch how bankers move. I'm scared because I don't know I know what it means, but I don't know. So I walk out and I see a sister that I know who's in PR. We get to chat, and I was with her and this other woman all night. We went to see this art exhibit, came back. I'm still with them because I'm like scared. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm not supposed to say nothing. Over time, some of the bankers came up to me
Mhm.
and they were curious about me. Now, Precious is a wrecking ball. I'd be talking. Oh, no, I couldn't. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. So when they asked me questions, I got to say things. Towards the end of the night, this famous celebrity walks past and she's talking to the woman next to me. Everything in me wanted to say, hi, I'm Precious Williams, Founder CEO. I said nothing.
Mhm.
I said nothing. I wanted you so bad. And then she moves on because, more
Mhm.
important people are there. Another banker walks up and I didn't know she was a banker. And we're just talking, fat mouthing. And something in me said, my feet were screaming. So I say to her, would you walk me around the corner? And she says, why? I said, well, my feet are hurting and I don't want people to think I'm drinking or whatever. She said, you haven't drank anything but water all night. How would she know that?
She was watching you.
So we hit the corner. I'd taken the shoes off and she said, this happens to every woman. Don't you ever be embarrassed. She said, I'm honored that you asked me to come around that corner. So I'm getting ready to put on my red tennis shoes. And this other woman has been talking to another banker about me. And she's like, Precious, there's a woman who wants to book you for a speaking engagement. What? So I talked to the executive before I'm leaving. She said, did you feel bad that you couldn't be yourself? I said, no, I'm coachable. And in my 20s, I would have been offended. In my 30s, I would have been offended. In my 40s, I now realize what she was teaching me.
Mhm.
It's not your last time seeing these people. There's no need to flex. There's no need to prove who you are. Make them come to you. And by
Mhm.
you not speaking and they're used to hearing you speak, now you're intriguing. That's what a sister did for me. And that's how you play chess, not checkers. I don't have to flex and floss. My very presence and being in the background and letting the celebrity play the position made me play my position. And that made
Mhm.
me intrigued by me.
I
That's how you
love it.
play chess, not
I
checkers. But let's
love
get back to
it. You know, another way to play chess, not checkers, is just being strategic about where you're going. Like you had started off saying, what room are you even going to?
right.
You know, because the $25 room, like you were saying before, probably is not going to be the best place for you.
Nope.
But even the $1,000 room may not be the best, that specific $1,000 room may not
Come
be
on.
the best place for you either. So it really is about, like you're saying, thinking 4 or 5, moves down the line. What do I need to have in place now so that when I get there, I'm going to be successful? So, look,
And
I
this is why
I
Rainmaker
loved it.
101 is step by step. Like all these
Mhm.
can't be done in 1 week, 1 month, year.
No.
And that's why it's something you come back to. Some of the chapters are more important as you move along the journey. Some of them you'll be like, okay, okay. Oh, I know why this makes sense now. It didn't make
Mhm.
sense to me before. It makes so much
Mhm.
sense now. So thank
Yeah.
you, Queen.
So, my boss is interesting. Like I've obviously I have a network, pretty vast network, but my
Come on,
boss
Queen.
has
You
been
know
in
we
real
know it.
estate for since 2003, 2004ish.
Mhm.
And his network is extremely vast as well within real estate. And, some of the people are like, I would lend to him just based on his name, right? Based on you,
Yes.
but that takes 10, 15 years to cultivate yourself to
Mhm.
that point. There are people that I could contact today and say, hey, I'm looking for a job or I'm looking for this. What do you need, Cherie? Because they've known me for so long, right? And
We
you
don't have to beat
definitely,
around the bush. They know.
yes, yes. So, what you're saying with regards to this is not an overnight thing. But if you are able to play chess, not checkers, if you're able to meet with the right people and keep up with them, that's one of the things I did not do that I need to do better is actually having that VIP system of keeping up with people and just keeping up with people, letting them see you every once in a while, what you've accomplished. Opportunities come to you. I mean, I even with not keeping up with people, I get opportunities. I'm like, I didn't even know that existed. And I
But
think I'm
there's
pretty plugged
momentum in
in.
what you're doing. There's
Mm.
momentum. The fact
Yeah.
that you have this show, the fact that you are really helping Black women. So if you
Hmm.
were stagnant, this stuff wouldn't come. It's a cumulative effect.
Yeah,
And
it
sometimes when
is.
people are going through the hardest times, you start making moves, you start pushing, you start helping others, and then it just starts to come back to you. Baby, I've been at rock bottom. I know that I made mistakes. And so today I'm paying it forward. I really am because I know
Hmm.
I'm blessed at a second chance.
Hmm.
And for a lot of our women, especially Black women, we're getting older. They're trying to tell us we don't matter. Nobody wants us, da da da. And it's like, yo, I could listen to that, or I can make myself the main character and like Bonnie Raitt, give them something to talk about
Yes.
and not engage in
Yes.
conversations that have not like you want to engage in that kind of conversation. That's not where I'm at. I'm playing chess over
Hmm.
here. That's checker stuff. If you're gonna argue back and forth on the internet, I'm not gonna do it.
Absolutely. Look, I absolutely agree. So Dark and Lovely has a great comment here. I need to find the right events to volunteer for until I can pay for the entry fee.
Oh,
Here's
that's
a
a
su-
great idea too.
here's a suggestion for
Go
you
ahead,
that
drop
I
the mic.
have. So back in the day, I thought I had to run all over town and attend a whole lot of events. I discovered that when I joined just two groups, and I volunteered for those two groups, and I went deep with those individuals,
You see what she
meaning
said?
that
She
they
went
saw
deep.
me everything that they had, I would show up for, I would volunteer, things like that. Business flows and flows of business started coming to me. And this was at the time when my mother had her bookkeeping company. So bookkeeping is very much based on trust, right? People need to see you over and over again. So, Dark and Lovely, one of the things that I suggest you do instead of finding the right events to volunteer for, find the right either charitable organizations,
Come on.
or it could be a chamber of commerce, or it could be the association of XYZ, that you want to meet those individuals. Like, find the right organization to volunteer for, and then use your talents within the organization. And you'll be surprised, some of those organizations will let you in at no charge, if you say that you're having a hardship, but you're
Please.
willing to help with events or things like that. So yeah.
And what our queen Sheree just said is so true. Like me being with savvy ladies,
Hmm.
like the NASDAQ experience, but that's not the only things that I've been blessed to be a part of because, as part of the board, helping to raise money, I'm bringing more women in. I mean, they do financial literacy training. Like, let's say you just lost your
Hmm.
job, you're in middle management. Let's say you don't really understand a budget because your husband died. There's so many things that happen to women. It is
Hmm.
financial literacy month, but last month was Women's History Month. The
Hmm.
founder started the company 20 years ago because she
Hmm.
realized things were that women were being shortchanged. And on that board is Lisa Zeiderman, who is a family law attorney, matrimonial. Like you don't want to go up against her in court. I wouldn't.
Hmm.
And I'm badass as all get out. I wouldn't want to. But by my association with these great women, Lisa helped me with Rainmaking 101, so it rang true for attorneys. I asked Tony Moore, Esquire, a dope black, she's a dope attorney and she's a black woman. She does boss. She's like protect your assets like a boss. BAWSE.
Hmm.
Dope intellectual property. So I had these two co-conspirator, one sister who made sure as they were reading through that I was true to attorneys. Then I had a couple other women who were in sales and stuff like that, who people who had jobs. This has to ring true and it can't be fluff because my
Hmm.
name can't be attached to fluff. And I've had the greatest savvy ladies. I had no money when I started. And as I
Hmm.
started growing up, they were watching me because I kept talking to them about what things got the inspiration of the year 2020. Now I'm on the board. Now we're doing the most incredible things. And one of my clients won Inspiration of the Year 2021, Grace Vandercruz, who owns her own mergers and acquisition company and black.
Yes.
Do you see how all of that works together? That is rainmaking. That is playing chess. That is working with the right people who gonna rock with you and make sure as you've been putting in the work and the talent and stuff like that, they see it and they're
Hmm.
gonna be a part of it. And they're gonna be like, somebody say something reckless. I just get the phone call. Girl, I heard this chick telling you not to check her. I'm like, do what you got to do. I'm not worried. I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to flex because y'all gonna flex for me.
We are corporate gangsta up in here.
Gang, gang.
So, in closing,
Yes.
if you were to give people, let's say, three pieces of advice for them to follow as they are starting their rainmaking journey, what would you tell them to do?
The first thing I would tell our queens to do is number one, purchase Rainmaking 101 from day one on Amazon. I know she's gonna drop that link for y'all.
Yeah, we drop in the link again, ladies. The link is pinned in the chat, so you all can get that.
Mhm. Number two, I want you to start looking at your network. Where does the bulk of your network come from? Is it men heavy? Is it women heavy? What industries are they in? So, and I want you to pay attention to where do the bulk of them come from and where what industries are they in? And I want you to see who you're really closely connected to. Schedule a call, a 5, 10, 15-minute call with them and ask them the question that most of us never ask. What do you see in me? What do you know about me? They're going to tell you things you never saw in yourself. They're also going to let you know if they only know you surface
Mhm.
wise, which is why you need the Rainmaking 101 from day one book. And number three, as you're connecting and reconnecting, you need 150 reasons why someone should hire you, refer you, book you, and say your name in spaces. The first 10 or 15 you probably can do on your own.
Mhm.
The rest you allow your trusted network, not everybody, your trusted network. Not family and friends, because they're gonna always tell you you don't, and you totally flow up. But your trusted network, your co-conspirators, your allies, your sisters, your kings and queens. Because often how other people see us, we don't know until we ask. And they're gonna show you how to move past every objection. I thought that people hired me because I'm a killer pitch master,
Mhm.
but that's not why they hired me. That's not why they refer me. That's not why they book me. Do you know the number one thing they say is my energy? I'm real, I'm
Mhm.
touchable, and I show up exactly as I do on video, and they don't see that very often. But
Mhm.
they say, we hire you strictly because the energy you bring the energy high, you teach, and you just make them hype, and then you give them the necessary tools to keep it going. So you're not motivational, you are tactical, you're action based, and you always are a trainer. You're not a coach.
Yeah.
So that's what I would suggest, Queens.
I mean, I consider you unapologetically precious, and I love that. I love how bold you are, and you're full figured, and you're just you, and people gravitate to you for that, because so many of us as Black women are told, if our hair doesn't look a certain way, if we're not a certain size, if we can't do this, or you know that, etc., that we're not going to make it. And what you have done, at least for me since I've known you, is you have destroyed all of those myths. And for that, I always love you. I always appreciate you for that, because there are so many women out here who feel like they can't do it because of some impediment that they have. And you, every time I see you on LinkedIn, I'm like, she is proving that you can. You don't have to fit into a box. And I love that. I love that about you. So,
I want you to know I receive. For years I couldn't receive it.
mhm,
And number two, the last time I was at rock bottom and I heard our Heavenly Father say, your second chapter is going to be better than your first. Mask off. And my mask being off. Not everybody needs to know my backstory,
mhm,
but they do need to know I'm compassionate and that I didn't come from a clique. I didn't come from any of that. And you know what? We can do so much more together when we all start to realize we're not the same and we
yeah.
all bring something unique to the table. So when I tell you I received that, and I'm trying not to cry because I feel like as I get older, all the emotions I held back for all those years are coming up. And it's so beautiful that a sister can tell me that my very presence, my very fighting against the system makes it easier for other Black women to show up in the beauty and the resilience and the inner and the outer journey matters. And I have no
Mhm.
desire to be 23 or 30. Yeah, 33 is my number. I was born in 1933, but I'm 44.
Mhm.
And I can't tell you, I feel like my 40s are the game changers. And I don't care what these other people are saying. I care what the people I'm serving think of me.
Yeah,
Everybody else is irrelevant.
they are. And we're going to attract the people we should attract and repel the people that, you know, whatever. So, Um, with that, everybody, I hope you have a blessed Saturday. It looks like it's about to pour. And
Girl, it's been
sometimes
dark out here.
yes, and sometimes my internet goes out. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that,
we
like,
yeah.
the Lord Jesus was like, keep it on long enough for Cherie and Precious to finish. But we're going to hop off right now. Everybody, please don't forget to like the video on your way out. Listen to this in replay. Get
Subscribe.
Rainmaking 101. Pre order it on Amazon, ladies. Most importantly, it's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. Who knows you? So, y'all know my famous four: get your technical skills together, your soft skills, your multicultural networks, and your resources together. Because
Girl,
it's
she dropped
about to
that
be
fire.
serious here, not only in this country, but this world is about to get serious out here. So, be on your game. All right, Precious. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, everybody. Good night.